So Raiden, just to kind of recap what we just talked about. So any situation where you might have to block, which is a guy on base or a two strike count where there's a possibility of a ball in the dirt, I want you working out of a secondary. Okay. Any time where your only job is to receive, so nobody on base or less than two strikes, you can work out of a primary stance. Something that might help you remember these stances, or I guess help you set up a little better in these stances, is when you're in a primary stance, like I said, your only job is to receive. So that means we can be as comfortable as possible and I guess sacrifice our ability to block or come up and throw so we can increase our ability to receive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So your primary stance, the way that I teach it to my guys, is your primary stance should be so comfortable that you could sit down there and like watch a movie for 2 hours. If anything feels uncomfortable with your stance, we probably need to make some adjustments to it so that you're comfortable. And the reason that you need to be comfortable is because the more comfortable you are in your stance, the better you're going to be able to receive. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And we can always touch on this stuff more. I'm just kind of, I guess, like laying down my thought processes on this.
Yeah.
Okay, so then the secondary stance. So like I said, with the understanding that this is the stance we go out of anytime we might have to block or we might have to throw. Okay, so we understand that. And now what I want you to start to think about is when you're in your secondary stance, I want to find a position to where when I react and decide I either have to go down and block or I have to come up and throw, there should be no wasted time in either direction. So the point that I'm trying to get at right here, can you see my cursor?
Mm-hmm.
So you can see right in like where your center of gravity is and more specifically how your butt is over your knees. That means if obviously, I don't think your dad's going to throw one in the dirt, but if this is a game situation and your butt is up this high and this guy throws one in the dirt, now you're going to have to shift your center of gravity down in order to get around this ball, right? If my center of gravity is too low, so it's under my knees, that means I'm going to have to shift my center of gravity up in order to go forward. So a good way to find a solid center of gravity is think about keeping your butt even with your knees, because that would allow you to not waste any time going up and that you won't waste any time going down. So simplest way to put it, just sink your butt down a little bit. You'll be more powerful through your legs. Does that all make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Does that mean he has to widen his stance or just squat a little bit more?
I think his stance is wide enough.
Yeah.
So
Okay. So
yeah,
just squat a little bit more.
Just squat a little bit more. And like it's probably not going to be perfect just because like, you know, your legs aren't fully developed like a, you know, an older catcher might be. But definitely train the right movement patterns. That way when you start getting bigger and stronger, like your body's already there.
Yeah. Cool.
Same thing here. You can see it, right? How your butt's kind of over your knees.
Yeah.
Okay. Another reason that's important, dude, is because probably what you've heard by now in the learning modules is week one. Actually, I'm going to quiz you. What do we focus on in week one? Or give me your best answer to that, because I know you watch the videos and you have somewhat of an understanding.
The position.
Okay. What part of the position? Like specifically like our upper half or our lower half?
Upper.
Lower. So I'll give you a reminder. And this means you should go back and watch the videos again. Okay. But the whole focus of week one is our lower half of our body, right? So that's our legs. And then more specifically with our legs, it's going to be creating direction with this lead knee. So that lead knee is what carries our entire throw to second base. So if your butt is up past your knees, it's going to be really hard for you to create direction with this front side. So you sinking your butt down is going to allow you to create direction a lot better. Make sense? Give me a thumbs up if you're with me. Okay. Is that a
This
sideways
one-
thumbs up?
Was this the one where the left foot is on your heel and you kind of roll it? Not roll
Yes.
it.
Exactly.
You remember
That's
that
just
one?
that's like the weight shift progression. So yeah, you remember that.
That's what we're trying to work on today.
Okay, yeah,
Cool.
okay, cool.
So yeah, exactly. So like obviously in that drill, we're just isolating like how to shift our weight properly. And then eventually we'll be able to incorporate like that whole feel into the throw. But step number one, get your butt down so you can shift your hips the right way. Cool. And then another thing you can see, dude, is like this move right here, because your butt is up and you haven't started to shift that weight through your lower half, I want you to watch how your body comes straight up. You see that? Instead of saying like low and through with your hips. Am I making sense so far?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But other than that, dude, I mean, like once you get that back foot planted, I think you're a very natural thrower. Like very, very natural, especially for your age. So it's just going to be like making those little tweaks like that that'll kind of get you to the next level. Okay, because then you'll start to use like the correct parts of your body on your throw, and you won't have to, I guess, rely so much on your arm when you're coming straight up. All right, Raiden, tell me what you think of this position right here.
The butt looks a little up.
Yeah. Another thing too is, do you see where your knee is?
Yeah.
Do you see how it's kind of like over your foot?
Mhm.
Yeah.
You see that? Okay, so I want you to think about this. I know you're probably not lifting weights yet, but have you ever done a back squat?
No.
Okay, then I want you to imagine something. If I was going to take a barbell, you know what a barbell is?
Yeah.
It holds all the weight, right? And let's say I was going to put 300 pounds on there and I was going to put it on your back. And I was going to say, Raiden, you got to give me at least one. Do you think that if you squatted with your knees past your toes, you'd be more powerful? Or do you think if you held all your weight on your backside and through your heels, you'd be more powerful?
On your back.
Yes, right? Because like think about it like this, dude. All the muscles on the backside of our body, which is what we call our posterior chain, that's like your hamstrings, your glutes, and then all the muscles in your back make up your posterior chain. Your posterior chain is going to be a lot stronger than the muscles on the front of your body. So we want to use that when we play baseball. Okay. I'm actually going to show you, I have a pretty good video that shows that. Okay, we're going to play a little game, dude. All right. So what I want you to do is, okay, you just saw the first one, dang it. All right. I'm going to play like 2 seconds of this video, and I want you to guess based on his stance if you think he's going to block, if you think he's going to throw, or you think he's going to receive. Okay.
Okay.
All right. You already saw the first one, so you can't get it wrong. What do you think?
Catch it.
He's going to receive it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What makes you think that?
As he's even.
He's even. Okay. I'll take that answer. Before I show you what he does, which you already know, I want you to tell me, I guess, what you see as the difference between his stance right here, and then your stance.
He's lower.
He's lower, right? I think I can draw on these. I'm gonna try that. Okay, so you see how like the angles you're creating with your body aren't really creating like this same you see how he's made like a very straight box with his stance, right? Like
Yeah.
all of his weight is through his backside and all of his weight is through his heels, right?
Mm-hmm.
As opposed to with your video, how because your knees are leaking forward, how all the weight here is like on the front of your feet. And that's just going to limit your ability to kind of move out of that stance. So if you can think about it one way, all I would say is think to shift your weight back through your heels more. Like imagine that you're squatting a bunch of weight. How would you hold that weight? Cool.
Okay.
Okay, now I got to figure out how to delete these drawings. Okay, cool. And if anything doesn't make sense, dude, I know it's a lot of information. Just you can stop me at any time. Okay. Oh, wait, we were playing a game. I forgot about that. Okay. All right, let's see if you got it right. Cool. He received it. You got it right. You're 1 for 1. Okay, let's go to the next one. What do you think he's going to do right here?
Receive.
Okay. So you can even see like his buddy over here. You see how through his backside he is, right?
Mhm.
Like if you watch any high level catcher, all of their weight is through the backside. So that's your challenge. Okay.
Mhm. Like both heels are on the floor. Okay. I see that.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And like, not that you need to know this yet, Raiden, but what that's going to allow you to do is that's going to allow you to shift laterally a lot better. So like if you have to shift and receive, you can shift and receive. If you have to shift your weight to come up and throw, you can shift your weight, but being on the toes is going to kind of limit your ability to shift. All right, so what did you guys receive?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, you were right again. I think there's a couple more. That's a knee down stance. All right. What about this one?
Receive.
Okay, let's see. Blocks.
Whoa.
So I guess the point I'm trying to make, dude, is like you can see how the stance stays consistent no matter what he does, right? And because of where he holds his butt and his center of gravity, now there's no wasted time when he decides to block this ball. Whereas if your butt was that high, you'd have to sink your butt down and then go block. And it's not bad. Like it'll probably work at your age level, but I'm always going to coach you like you want to make it to the big leagues. Okay. So that means like as you get older, the speed of the game is going to increase. And that means your time to make decisions is going to go down. So we have to make all of our movements behind the plate as efficient as possible. All right. So you're 2 for 3 so far. All right. How about this one?
Block.
Okay. Okay. I'll count that as a block. It was in the dirt.
Yeah.
All right. What about this one?
Receive.
I say receive. I mean, it's a
You guys got it.
50-50 chance.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of this. That's the reason I like doing that is because like if you have a correct stance, you shouldn't be able to tell because there's no
Right.
wasted movement.
Does that make sense?
Mhm.
That makes sense. Okay. Now
Cool.
I'm understanding it. I hope you are. Can
Yeah.
you say for sure?
Mhm.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Cool. So we'll go back to this one.
See, he's always on his toes, I noticed too.
Yeah. And it's not bad. Like in this stance, you can be more through your toes, but in the secondary stance, definitely be more through the heels.
Oh,
Yeah. Cause like this, and some guys get away with it. Like some guys are super flexible and they can put the heels down in a primary stance, but it's not necessary. It's kind of just like a case by case basis. Like if you can receive well out of this, then I'd say stick with it. If you don't feel you can shift side to side well out of this primary stance, all you would kind of have to do is maybe just open the knees up a little bit and that'll shift your weight back.
That's not a lot of sense.
Okay. So Raiden, I'm going to quiz you. So based on everything we talked about so far, if you had to go back and redo this video, what would you change?
Butt lower.
Butt lower. That's the only answer I wanted to hear. Okay. So then once you figure out how to get your butt lower, what I want you to focus on, and this is the whole point of week 1, is creating direction with the lower half. You're going to start to think to take this knee and pull it on a straight line to second base, right? That's going to keep your hips on line. That's going to keep your shoulders on line, but it all starts with that move right there. That's your week number 1, is creating direction with the lower half. Okay, so we'll have these here as a marker, but I want you to kind of watch what your body does because you don't create that direction. You see like right about there, how you come straight up instead of being like through it at this angle. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But other than that, dude, like once you get your feet in the ground, like I said, man, you're a really good thrower. So it's just those little things. So another thing that I want you to think about too, dude, is this is kind of getting a little bit ahead of myself. But I want you to notice where you catch the ball. You see that?
Yeah.
You see how far it is from your body?
Yeah.
Okay, so I want you to think about the whole point of the pop time, or I guess the reason, I guess how the pop time is measured is when there's a coach in the stands or a scout or whoever's coming out to watch you play. They're going to start the clock immediately when it hits your glove. And they're going to stop the clock when it hits the middle infielder's glove. So if we can save time by receiving this ball a lot closer to our body, what's going to happen to our pop time?
Go up.
No, it's going to go down. It's going to go down. Exactly. Right? Because now this is all time saved. Right? And if you can force yourself to receive the ball a lot deeper and create the direction with your lower half, now you're going to be a lot deeper in your throwing sequence, and you're going to have more time to get your feet planted and more time to make a strong throw. I think this is a better stance right here. It looks like your butt's a little bit lower, which is good. But you can still see the knees are kind of peeking in. So again, imagine like if there's 300 pounds on your back, how would you hold it within your legs? Okay. Based on what we just talked about, if you had to go back and redo this video, what would you change?
Stay lower and catch it deeper.
You're a fast learner. Good job. When we were on the first call, Raiden, did I show you the video that is like the top angle of the guy throwing to second base?
I
No,
don't think so.
Okay, I'm gonna airdrop that to myself really quick. All right, it should be coming through.
That's my water. Mhm.
Okay, I think this will help make everything a little more clear, dude. All right. So this video is cool because it's, like I said, like a bird's eye view, so you can see how his body works really clearly. So I want you to watch, like we just talked about. I want you to watch. I'm getting the face down. I want you to watch this front knee, and I want you to watch how this leads his throw.
Hmm.
All right. So I'm just going to play a couple frames. So you can see right here that ball's coming at him, and then watch the path that that front knee takes. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. Keep getting
No, it's
FaceTimes.
okay.
What do you see his front knee doing?
going in front.
Exactly. Right? Like it's almost like he's taking this knee directly towards second base. And where is his butt? Where is his center of gravity?
Down.
It's down, right? You see like how low his hips are. And then not to get too far ahead of myself, what you can also see is because he's created this direction with his knee, watch what that allows his hips to do. You see how well he can kind of stay on line, right?
Yeah.
And then once that ball actually hits his glove, he's all the way back here, as
Mhm.
opposed to being like somewhere out here, like where you were, right?
Yeah.
Cool. All right. And then you can just see like how well his body works just because he's created direction with that lower half. Okay. I'm going to quiz you again. So I guess I don't want to give you like too many things. I don't want to confuse you or overcomplicate you. I want to send you away in your drill work with maybe like 2 or 3 cues for you to work on and get better at, and then we can improve from there. So keeping in mind everything we talked about, dude, and now that you're going through this first week, I want you to tell me, I guess, what adjustments you're going to make to like how you're attacking your training program, and then maybe 2 adjustments that you're going to make with your throw that you can really focus on this week.
Like let the ball come to me and be lower in the stance.
Okay. What about your lead knee?
What about your lead knee?
Oh, it's gonna drive like through second base.
Okay, cool. So keep it at those 3. And then what about the program?
Focus more on the videos.
Okay. So you're throwing tomorrow. What does that mean you're going to do tonight?
No, you just long toss tomorrow.
Is it a long toss tomorrow? I think.
Yeah, we're 1 day behind because his
Oh,
like
that's right.
so
that's
today's
right.
actually
Okay.
we haven't done any we just did long toss yesterday, so today was gonna be the first
Progression.
progression.
Okay. Okay, cool. That works too. So I guess, Raiden, what your homework is everything you just told me. I want you to write it down on a piece of paper so it really sticks in your head. Okay. So what you're going to write down the 2 adjustments you're going to make with, your stance and your throw, and then you're gonna write down what adjustments you're gonna make and how you attack the training program. Write those down on paper, and then your mom's gonna send me a picture of your piece of paper, okay?
Okay.
All right, dude, cool, I'll leave you with that. Any questions before I let you go?
No, that's awesome.
Cool. All right, you guys. Raiden,
All
keep
right.
working hard, dude. Like I said, man, there's no pressure to be perfect. Like, this is if it makes you feel any better, you're going through a program that pretty high level high school catchers and college catchers go through. So if that makes you feel any better, like, you're way ahead of the curve, dude. I didn't even start catching until I was a freshman in high school. So the fact that you're being exposed to stuff like this means you're in a good spot.
Cool.
Cool.
All right, dude. Enjoy your evening. I'll talk to you guys later.
Thanks. Bye.
All righty. See ya.